Final question for you, and this could be a hard one, is how do you quantify the success of a messaging exercise? After you've done all the work, after you've built out this playbook, and hopefully what they do is your clients implement it, 3 months later, 6 months later, how do they quantify the work that you've done so they can say, Diane did awesome work. It's delivering ROI, and we're so happy that we can recommend her to other people. What's the criteria for figuring out whether your messaging is any good and whether it's working?
Yeah, this is a great question. And surprisingly, it's tough.
Mm.
I'm gonna feel that quantifying the success of something is really difficult and changes depending on each company. I think I touched on one important one that I need to mention again before we move on. And the quantifying the success starts with that aha moment. It starts with buy-in. It starts with once we close off that project, it's because finally this lack of clarity, this kind of doubt, this people didn't get it, we didn't know how to say it, we had 10 different ways of approaching our messaging. Now we have one clear strategy. So it starts with that. I always say external success starts with internal success. So internally as a whole team, championing a strategy and having one, that's the first KPI for me. And often I actually have founders and CEOs who come to me and they say, that's the KPI. Like, we just want to get on the same team and we want to say something very clearly. So that's really important. Later on, I would say an important kind of KPI for success is using the feedback loops that you have within your company. So say if you're a very sales-led company, starting to adhere and test messaging on demos and sales calls and getting kind of this feedback and getting confirmation that something resonates, cuts through, that's really important. A third way of doing this, apart from obviously noticing whatever KPIs that you had, right? If you're actually implementing this messaging on your website and then you're looking at conversions, you're looking at signups, all the kind of classic marketing KPIs, you can also then kind of implement a full kind of testing and review. So often messaging, testing, actually going out with a sample group, with your audience, and noticing the change. So if you've done some testing in the beginning with a sample group of people and 10 people didn't get your value proposition, or they were on your website and had no idea what you were on about, now we go back and review and retest and we check the results in comparison to where we begun. So that's quite a kind of easy way to do this. Messaging is it's a foundational thing that copy then sits on top of. And so it's actually hard to quantify, but it's a very important qualitative piece, right? So all the feedback that you get is qualitative, and it's really easy to notice when you have strong qualitative feedback.